Good day, guys! Today we will tackle about proportional representation system. The objectives of this report is to introduce proportional representation system, to identify the advantages and disadvantages of PR system, to discuss the list PR system, and finally to analyze two case studies. So what is PR system? First of all, PR requires the use of electoral district with more than one member. Unlike the plurality system, which uses single-member district, proportional representation system uses multi-member constituencies. PR electoral system seeks to create a representative body that reflects the overall distribution of public support for each political party. And the basic principle underlying proportional representation election are that all voters deserve representation and that all political groups in society deserve to be represented in our legislatures in proportion to their strength in the electorate or based on their vote percentage. We will discuss it later with formula and calculation. List proportional representation system. So what is list PR system and how did we calculate the proportional seats on each party using this type of electoral system? So under list PR system, each party presents a list of candidates for a multi-member electoral districts. The voters vote for a party and parties receive seats in proportion to their overall share of the vote. Here is an example to see how list PR system works. For example, let us consider a country Finland with a total vote cast of 1,000 and 100 seats to be filled in the parliament, and there are 4 contested parties. So here is the formula how to get the seat of representation of each political party based on the vote percentage they accumulate.
So how to get the representation of each party based on the given example. So the given example is 1,000 total votes cast and 100 seats to be occupied, and there are 4 contested political parties. During election, Party A receives 300 votes, Party B 200 votes, Party C 400 votes, and Party D 100 votes. So the question is how to get the representation of each party based on the vote they accumulate. So first thing to identify is to find the formula on how to get the vote percentage. So the formula is number of votes the party receives divided by or over total votes cast times 100, and you will get the percentage of the vote. So in the case of Party A, number of votes Party A receives is 300 over the total votes cast, which is 1,000, times 100 equals 30%. So Party A receives 30% of the total votes cast. And the next question is how to translate the percentage into seats. So the next step is to convert the percentage into decimal, and how to convert it. So 30 divided by 100, and you will get the decimal of the 30%. And the next step is multiply the decimal into the number of seats to be occupied. So 0.30 times 100, because this is the seats to be occupied, equals 30. Therefore, Party A occupies 30 seats on the legislature.
The advantages of PR system. First, the system avoids the anomalous result of plurality majority systems and is better able to produce a representative legislature. Second, encourage or require the formation of political parties or group of like-minded candidates to put forward list. Third, it gives rise to very few wasted vote. This increases the voters' perception that it is worth making the trip to the polling booth at election time, as they can be more confident that their vote will make a difference to the election outcome. Fourth, facilitate minority parties' access to representation. Disadvantages of PR system. Coalition governments, which in turn leads to legislative gridlock and consequent the systems, and their consequences, inability to carry out coherent policies. Second, a platform for extremist parties. Third, small parties getting a disproportionately large amount of power. And in case studies, we are able to identify how each country uses the PR system.
Using the list proportional representation, let us now talk about the case of South Africa's national election in 1994. A short background. In 1994, National Assembly and provincial election held in South Africa. changed from authoritarian rule to multi-party democracy, and this was the end of the Dutch colonialism to South Africa for 300 years. During the election, there are 19 political parties who participated to gain the 400 seats in the National Assembly. The election took place under the direction of Independent Electoral Commission, or the IEC, and the drop quota was used to allocate seats, and surplus seats were awarded by an adoption of the largest remainder method. This was the result of the 1994 national election in South Africa, wherein the African National Congress took the largest seat in the National Assembly, taking 252 seats out of 400 total seats in the Assembly.
Now, let's learn how to use the drop quota and largest remainder method using a simpler problem. Say, for example, there are 4 parties compete for 9 seats. The party A got 39,000 votes, party B got 29,000 votes, party C got 18,000 votes, and party D got 40,000 votes, for a total of 100 valid votes. First, let us solve the quota in order to determine the seats gained by each party based on their votes gathered. The formula of the drop quota is total votes over number of seats plus 1 is equals to n votes, which is equivalent to 1 seat. From the problem, 100,000 valid votes over 9 seats plus 1 is equals to 10,000 votes, which will be equivalent to 1 seat. Now, since we have our quota, which is 10,000 votes is equal to 1 seat, we can now solve for the full seats of the party using the formula party votes over quota plus 1 is equal to seats. In party A, 41,000 over 10,000 plus 1 is equals to 3.89 seats. The full quote seats that will be allocated to party A is the integer result, which is 3. While 0.9 is the remainder. In party B, 29,000 over 10,000 plus 1 equals 2.89 seats. The full quote seats that will be allocated to party B is the integer result, which is 2, while 0.9 is the remainder. In party C, 18,000 over 10,000 plus 1 is equals to 1.79 seats. The full quote seats that will be allocated to party C is the integer results, which is 1, while 0.8 is the remainder. While in party B, 14,000 over 10,000 plus 1 is equals to 1.39 seats. The full quote seats that will be allocated to party D is the integer result, which is 1, while 0.4 is the remainder. Note that among the 9 seats competed by 4 parties, only 7 seats has been allocated based on the integer result from their vote. The remaining 2 seats will be allocated based on the remainder. Let us now solve the unallocated seats. Based from the definition of largest remainder method, the largest remainder from the parties capture the 2 remaining seats. Party A and Party B got 0.89 remainder, while Party C got 0.79 remainder and Party D got 0.39. Since Party A and Party B got the highest remainder, the 2 parties won the remaining seats. For a total of 4 seats gained by Party A, Party B got 3 seats, Party C got 1 seat, and Party D got 1 seat, for a total of 9 seats that have been competed by 4 parties.
The Indonesia voting system, they use proportional representation using the open party list. It means that voters may cast their ballot for either a political party or a candidate. In 1999 election, the legislation was not clear because the method of converting votes cast into seats gained was not included, but it is resolved by using a hair quota or the largest remainder method.
Case sa Indonesia, atong 1999 election nila nga about atong issue, na-resolve to siya using this method, which is the hair quota. Hair quota is the total votes divided by the total seats. So, na-illustration dere nga mapakita kung naunsa or giunsa pag-solve or pag-allocate sa seats. So, I have here, na ako'y solution dere. Hair quota formula, total votes divided by total seats. So, ang given kay natay 100,000 nga total votes, then 8 ka total seats. So, ang hair quota is 100,000 divided by 8 is nakakuha din siya og 12,500 per seat. So, saan lugar nato pagkahibalo kung pila ka seats ang ma-allocate sa party. So, nalan din dire. Sa party A, sa party B, and a party C, and party D, maoning party nga nidagan. I-divide dayon siya sa 12,500 para ma-determine dayon kung pila ka seats ang ma-allocate sa each party. Quotas kung pila ka kuha ng ilang makuha. So, sa 3.28, automatic na sila tulo ka seats nga makuha. Sa 2.32 na duha, sa 1.36 na isa, then sa 1.04 isa. Kung imo na silang i-plus, 7 ra ka seat ang makuha. So, para makuha ang last na seat, magamit din ta atong largest remainder para makuha ang isa nga nabilin nga seat. So, direta sa remainder nila. So, ang party A na ay 28 nga 0.28 nga nabilin nga remainder, sa party B 0.32, 0.36 sa party C, and 0.4 sa party D. So, ang ilang giingon nga kung kinsa to ang pinakadako nga remainder, automatic na dayon makuha niya ang nabilin nga seat. So, na may isa ka seat nga nabilin, kaya diba 7 raman to ang nakuha sa upat ka party sa full quota. So, automatic, kay ang party C na ay 0.36, automatic na dayon nga sa iyahan na mahatag ang nabilin nga remaining seat. So, muna siya, 0-0, then ang party C makakuha isa ka seat. So, all in all, ang party A nakakuha siya 3, ang party B nakakuha siya 2, and party C nakakuha siya 2 gihapon tungod kay siya ang nakakuha sa isa ka remaining seat, and sa party D, naa siya'y isa ka seat. So, all in all, naa siya'y 8 seats. So, nakuha na dahil nato ang i-allocate nga seats. So, maora to siya, simple ra siya i-solve. Pero sa case sa Indonesia, mao ni akong yata nga example kay if gamitan nako siya og katong result sa Indonesia, maglisod ko og kuan gamit aning formula, which is ang katong about sa book, ang giingon man gud kay hair quota, the largest remainder method ang gigamit. So, ako siyang gigamit dito, pero dili na ko siya makuha. Siguro ang Indonesia na sila gikuan bitaw, pero wala man gud sila naghatag og full details about sa ilang result. So, mo ni lang ni akong i-discuss sa inyo ha para makabalo mo kung giunsa pagkuha sa seats using this method, the hair quota or the largest remainder